Hello again, it's me, that guy with the YouTube channel, and today we're going to be doing another review. As you can tell, it's the first review of Pacific Rim figure I've ever done. Today we're reviewing the last kaiju in the whole line, Hardship, who's surprisingly standing up without the thing. So starting with the box, as you can see, this thing is absolutely gargantuan. As you can see, there's twisty ties in there, and they're all cut. That's because with these kaiju figures, they do not fuck around with the twisty ties. There's like 9 million knots on those things, and you gotta get a microsurgeon to undo them all. So I just said, fuck you, twisty ties, and I snapped them all. Fuck twisty ties. Yeah, anyways, as you can see, there's the thingy. There's a picture of Hardship. Picture of the figure. Another picture of the figure. Picture of all the other final figures. They all have something to say right there. Wonderful. On the top, my hands are squeaking on this box. There's a window in there, and you can see me. Hi! So yeah, that's it for the box. It's pretty big. So getting on to detail, as you can see, it's actually very nice with this figure, starting out with his fantastic, well-groomed, manicured nails. They're very nice. They're kind of... The base plastic of this figure is kind of purple, and they're kind of yellow with a brownish color over them. It's, you know, the yellow-brownish thing is alright. The brown is added okay, but as you can see in some places, like here on his elbow, the yellow is a little clumpy and weird, but it's overall pretty good, and it helps bring out the sculpt really well, as you can see with the brown dry brushing all along his fingers here. It looks really nice, and the underside of his hand is no exception. He's got weird alien finger thingies, look like Shrek. And you can see his spikes and everything. You know, little one in there. And gigantic thing. Bone spike protrusion thingy with the... I can't bring it into focus enough, but there's another one on there. Take my word for it. Yeah, as you can see, the purple is... obviously, like I said, it's the base color, and we got the brown on his shoulders. The joints for the articulation do kind of break things up, but whatever. And we got his big shell back thing, which is very wacky looking on this one. Look up there, looks like a sea parasite or something. And we got the bioluminescent lines, and like these look like blowholes. And that looks like a little face, and then he's kind of heavy, but I can't really see it, but the detailing on the underside of this thing goes all the way up into there, and it looks really nice. We got his tail here. Again, there's more brown dry brushing on it. There's none on the copyright stuff, which is blocked by his leg, which is right along there. This is kind of hard to do because he's so fucking big. And he's just got a little thingy on his tail. Looks flat. And it's kind of glossy. I'm not sure if that's still water from when I gave him a little hot water bath to loosen up all the joints or not. But yeah. As you can see in some places, like right here, that's not glare you're seeing. That's actual gunmetal gray paint on an organic thing, which is kind of off-putting and weird. But then again, this thing is kind of off-putting and weird. Like, look at that there. Let's try focusing. Why didn't I try that before? Yeah, look at that there. That's like all weird and nasty looking. There's more gunmetal gray, and there's kaiju anus for the ladies, and there's more clumpy yellow paint, which again just looks alright. And we come down to his very insectoid looking feet, which also look nice. This one has gunmetal gray on his toenails, which I actually like. This other foot, it's just bare purple plastic with a little bit of gunmetal gray, kind of like there. So yeah. And we got his little baby arms, little baby Muto Gigan arm thingies. Yeah. I have no idea how this thing is supposed to swim. Maybe it scurries along the bottom of the ocean like a sand crab. That's fucking creepy. And going up to his head, you can see he's got his big sickle knife blade thing, which is horrifying looking. He's got yellow going down his eyes, which gives him a cool look. He's got 2 eyes on either side of his head. You can call me Captain Obvious now. can see his nostrils look nice. He's very crustacean-like. I've just noticed that. I just got this figure today. This is one of the only reviews where you'll actually see me review the figure the day I got it. But yeah, and opening up his mouth as well, you can see the detail is pretty nice in there as well. So that's it for detail. Hardship fail. So for articulation, this is going to be, again, kind of hard to show, but first we'll actually start with his mouth. He's got the split otachi jaw, which that really surprised me, so you can split out to the side like that and do stuff. Or you can open it as one thing, which just kind of looks like he's going... yeah. Head is connected on a ball joint right here, which doesn't offer a whole lot of range, but the ball joint is connecting to a ball hinge, which moves it side to side ridiculously far. So that's great, and you also swivel that. There's also a ball joint here, which doesn't get a whole lot up, so you can't look up that much, but you can look down a good amount, and this helps him also look ridiculously side to side. Shoulders are ball jointed, so they don't offer a whole lot of range, but they move, and they can move out a little bit, in a little bit, kind of like that a little bit. Biceps can swivel and are ball hinged, so yeah, kind of acts like a second elbow joint when you get to the elbows. You can see ball hinged biceps. Elbows are ball hinged, so they can hinge right there, and you can use the bicep ball hinge to get a much wider bend. And they swivel right here. I mean, it kind of makes sense because that's the only way they could put it, but it's a little weird. Hands are also ball hinged, so they can move that far out and really far in. They use a lot of ball hinges on this thing, and it's kind of off-putting when you got the ball hinge shoulders. They should have flipped it, so you got ball hinge shoulders and ball jointed biceps, but whatever. Ball jointed second shoulders for his little baby arms. Bleh. And then they're also ball hinged at the elbow, which is something we haven't gotten on the smaller kaiju. They usually just move at the shoulder and at the wrist. But that means there's nothing at his wrist for his kind of little hook hand thing. I think it's a ball joint at the waist, but I haven't gotten it to do anything really yes, ball joint, moment of discovery, but it kind of just swivels, and this thing on the back moves with the upper half of the torso, so it really makes it hard to be able to bend him around and things. His ball joints at his hips, so he can do the splits and move in a little bit and do all kinds of ball joint stuff. Ball hinge knees, which move like that and swivel there. Ball hinged second knees. I don't really know if these are second knees or like ankles or... Ball hinge right here. That's what I'll say. And then feet are ball jointed, and they don't offer a whole lot of motion, but enough to get him to stand. So that's it for articulation. So before we get on to sizing, accessories, he comes with this stand, which comes disassembled. You just plug that in there. This part moves a little bit to adjust, and you can also rotate it. You take Hardship, and you just get him up there, and he almost falls over. Yeah, it's supposed to go either there. It can also go in there, like as crotch, so you can have a... yeah, we're just going to cut it here. So for sizing, here he is with Gypsy Danger Hong Kong Brawl, because this is the only Jaeger I have. I really should probably get more. And I don't know. I don't know how big. I don't know the Pacific Rim size things. I think Hardship's like 70 meters or something. He's big. It looks good. Yeah, if you had Romeo Blue, I'm sure this would work. But I don't want Romeo Blue because he looks like shit. Wow, Gypsy's standing. Next here he is with Axehead, who you probably would have seen from my earlier reviews back when they were shit. This is probably shit too. Yeah, as you can see, Axehead is considerably smaller, and this is already kind of a big figure, so That just shows how big old Hardship here is, and he doesn't like standing. Next, here he is with... Oh, what's this? Next, here he is with the one figure that has been scientifically proven that absolutely everybody has or has had at one point, and the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 1995 Rebirth version. I have no idea if these are accurate sizings whatsoever. They probably aren't, but they look cool together, and this is really just to show you what Hardship looks like next to two very common figures. So for history of the figure and pricing, this figure was literally just released, so you're really not going to have that hard of a time trying to find him. He costs retails for about $60 to $70. Well, actually, I'd say about $50 to $60. That building is bobbling and is really weird. But yeah, $50 to $60, $70 at max. I got mine for about $60, and he was just released, so I did kind of pay a little bit extra. But overall, I'd say he's really worth it. And for a rating, there's not a whole lot wrong with this figure other than like the limited shoulder range, which is kind of helped by the bicep being ball hinged. And that's kind of the only problem I have. I should probably point out there are paint transfer issues with this figure. Same issue happened to me with Gypsy Danger. Out of the box, it was kind of leaving black marks, and there were other people have said the purple or other bits of paint were coming off, and he does have stuck joints out of the box, and I had to give him a hot water bath for that. But overall, there's not a whole lot of issues, and once you get past those, I mean, like the paint transfer issue is, for me at least, it stopped happening. I mean, it did happen at first, but it's kind of gone down. But overall, for a rating, I'm going to give this figure 9 out of 10. There's not a whole lot wrong I can really say about it. So yeah, that's it for this review. Shimama Jamo. It means I accidentally ate the whole thing.